Welcome back to the Lines College Football Podcast. I'm Brett Gibbons with TheLines.com, breaking down some more Tuesday night college football action. Before we get into it all, don't forget to follow the Lines on Twitter at TheLinesUS, and I'm at Road to CFB. I'll be here every single week breaking down the Tuesday night college football slate, and be sure to tune into our other shows with Kelly Ford for full weeknight and Saturday slates as well. And be sure to check out our other full lineup of shows, including Beat the Closing Number with Eli Hershkovich and Mo Nuwara, and the Lines Megapod featuring Steven Andrus and Matt Brown. This week, we close up Conference USA midweek action before Maction ends up taking over for the remainder of the college football season. But without further ado, let's start with our first game, New Mexico State at Louisiana Tech. The home team Bulldogs are 3-point favorites, and this game carries an over-under of 51.5 points. This one kicks off Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Louisiana Tech, they're coming off a bye. They have the rest advantage at home, and they've won 6 straight in this matchup. Of course, the last meeting well over a decade ago in 2012, so not much actionable information there, but just kind of laying out the stakes. The line did open Louisiana Tech -1.5, and it's been bet up to -3. Not sure if we're going to see it cross through 3, but landing on 3 is a big deal. I do believe there will be some market resistance on the other side of that number, though. The over-under, on the other hand, that's been a one-way street. It's bet way down. It opened at 58.5 very briefly. We're down, again, like I said, all the way to 51.5. That's a full touchdown and extra point movement down. New Mexico State, they have won 3 consecutive games, but those opponents average 123rd in my aggregated power ratings. Louisiana Tech, they're not much higher than that. They're 114th, but that is above that. This is the best opponent they played in quite some time here. Diego Pavia, he's had a 40-yard rush in 4 straight games and has accumulated at least 95 yards on the ground in 4 of his last 5. He's the biggest weapon that New Mexico State has on third down. He picks those up with his legs. Louisiana Tech, they're 51st nationally in third down conversion rate at just a hair over 37%. Pavia, if you look at the average time to throw, and I do like looking at those, but not without context. He has the second highest average time to throw mark in the country, 3.2 seconds. Now, traditionally, it's supposed to be 1,002 balls out. You have 2.5 seconds before the rush gets home at the Division I college level. He's taking 3.2 seconds. But it's not because he's standing there like a statue in the pocket and getting hit and sacked. It's because he has the ability to extend the plays. So all that time, he doesn't just tuck and run. He doesn't bail on the pocket early. He gets out there and he keeps his eyes down the field and makes throws longer. So he's going to have a longer average time to throw. I don't think that's really going to be an issue. And Louisiana Tech, they haven't played many quarterbacks with the rushing ability like Pavia. They have one. Heinrich Harburg, Nebraska's current quarterback, rushed for 157 yards on this team. I'm not really sure that's a one-to-one comparison, though. Given Nebraska's relative talent level to Louisiana Tech versus New Mexico State's versus Louisiana Tech, they're a little bit, obviously, closer in talent level there, the Aggies and the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs' best asset on their entire team is their secondary. They're 9th nationally in passing success rate allowed. I've talked about cornerback Willie Roberts on here, on Twitter. I've talked all about him because I think he's not just one of the best corners in the conference, but in the country. He leads the country in pass breakups and forced incompletions. These targets to him are accurate, but he's breaking them up. Whereas a lot of other ones, you see high target and low completion percentage, but low forced incompletion. That means that a lot of those targets are inaccurate. Roberts, very physical. He'll pick up a couple of flags, but he will also take your number one wideout almost entirely out of the game. Just make him not even an option. The issue, though, with Louisiana Tech, they don't have much of a pass rush. They should be able to force covered sacks, at least against pocket passers, but Pavia, he's going to be able to tuck and run and extend those. So I don't know that we're going to be seeing a lot of coverage sacks from Louisiana Tech in this game, and they haven't really been getting home on those anyway in the first place. Quarterback rushing yards, it's always a tough proposition when you talk about betting overs on those since sacks count against in college. But given his track record, I'm probably still betting over anything under 50 yards for Pavia at 50 or maybe even up to 55. I'm probably betting over on Pavia there if you have player props available in your state. But the other side, I bet New Mexico State outright. I took the money line plus 130 at Caesars Sportsbook. That was my play, the best number there available. I would take it. I still think they're the better team here. Ruston, Louisiana doesn't really strike fear in my heart from a home field advantage. I'm sorry. I love college football. I've been to Ruston. it's not quite a home field advantage that I'm really accounting for. I actually derated the home field advantage just a slight bit for Louisiana Tech. The power ratings do like New Mexico State by almost 2 points here on the road. That's why I'm taking them outright. I don't have a lot of confidence in Louisiana Tech's offense, especially if Hank Bachmeier is the starter again. I don't love fading the market. It's not my favorite thing to do. If you've done it this year, you've had some more success than historically. The market's just getting beat up. And Louisiana Tech's running room, also, they're facing a lot of injuries. They're very beat up this year. So I think New Mexico State's a better team. I'm taking them outright in this game. The second game we have on tap here, this is a big one. For those that enjoy Conference USA lower-level football, this is a big game. We have Liberty, a 4-point road favorite at Western Kentucky, and this game carries an over-under of 60.5 points. Kicks off Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. This is objectively the biggest matchup in Conference USA of the entire season. We're lucky to have it on Tuesday, so we can all sit down and watch it play out. This one's really for all the marbles, and it could be a preview of what we're going to see during Conference Championship Week moving forward, since these are large and by far the two contenders in the conference. Western actually briefly opened up as a 1.5-point home favorite at FanDuel. That did not last, and the mark has been all over Liberty, shoving them straight through the key number of 3. That's a very, very telling. 0 obviously is a dead number. Pushing it straight through 3 without any sort of hesitation did not take very long there. The mismatch that I see here for Liberty, they are 14th nationally in rushing success rate. That goes against Western Kentucky's rush defense. That's 106th in success rate allowed. We just saw the Flames flex their muscles on the ground last week against Middle Tennessee. They rushed for 400 yards. Not many teams can justify that or say that they've done that on the season. Caden Salter, the quarterback, he rushed for $160. Quentin Cooley went for 134 and 3 scores. I think they're probably going to lean into that run offense. Again, they had success with it last week. Hopefully their defense will show up a little bit more. But speaking of that Liberty defense, they're better against the pass than they are against the run. Western Kentucky does have the 4th highest pass rate in the country. They've thrown for 63% of all offensive plays over the last 3 games. Liberty, though, they are the 16th graded coverage team according to Pro Football Focus, but do know they did just allow 330 yards and 4 touchdowns to Nicholas Vadiato with Middle Tennessee there. That was a fascinating game. Maybe surprising to some, me included, but great game to watch. Either way, you're looking at their 2 primary slot defenders. I always like to look at the slot defenders when we're dealing with Western Kentucky. I'll get to why in a minute. But Brylan Green, Preston Hodge, those are Liberty's top 2 slot defenders in terms of snaps and targets. Green has had a far superior season so far. 2 picks, less than a 50 passer rating allowed in coverage. We'll see if Western Kentucky can work their top guy, Malachi Corley. Let's see if they can line him up or scheme him up to be on Hodge more so than Green, because Green's a better matchup for Liberty. And, of course, Western Kentucky, they love to run their offense through Malachi Corley. He's almost an extension of the run game at this point. Low ADOT, high yak guy, electric player, probably one of the better players overall in Conference USA, certainly one of the best receivers. But, again, Liberty counters pretty well if they can get Brylan Green on Corley. I'm interested to see if they do a shadow technique where they say, hey, your Meg man everywhere he goes all day long, just shadow him there, kind of keep the ball out of his hands. Corley last week, the tape is out there. He was held to a season worst 6 receptions for just 47 yards against Jacksonville State, but he did still have 12 targets. So if you're doing college fantasy or betting player props here, I'm still going to target the workload. I'm going to look at Corley's receptions over his yardage. Again, like I said, because he's an extension of the run game, low ADOT. It can be hit or miss on the yards, but his workload is very consistent. 15 targets, 13, 12. Like he's always in that range for 12 to 15 targets when he's out on the field. However, overall, my favorite look here in this game is over 29.5 first half points. Western and Liberty have both been really good first half teams. Now, the Flames have had some good second halves as well, but I don't know if it's like teams adjust to Western or if they just tire out or whatever's going on. But they've been much better in first halves this year. They come out of the gate lightning fast, red hot, put points up on the board. Liberty has been able to do that as well, and that's why I'm looking to over the first half total of 29.5 points. But hop on over to our Discord server where you can connect with over 4,000 sports betting fans and get live updates on our college football channel. There you can join a sharp and very active community this time of year. Don't forget to subscribe to the Lines YouTube for weekly college football odds and betting videos all season long, including our upcoming weeknight slate betting odds breakdowns. That's for Wednesday through Friday, and of course, Saturday slate with Kelly Ford. Subscribe to us on your podcasting app of choice if that's your thing, and drop us a good review if you like the show. Let me know down in the comments where you lean on these two games. I always go through and read them. I love seeing the back and forth between you guys and always appreciate your support. But thank you so much, as always, for watching. I'm Brett Gibbons. I'll see you next time.